Okay, this is Ricky Taylor. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of insight into how I make my cigar rolling glue. Then I'm going to roll a few cigars and give you a little demonstration. I haven't made a video about rolling cigars in a few months. I need to roll some cigars for myself, so I need some glue, so I'm going to show you how I make it and then roll some cigars. Okay, there's a couple of different products you can use to make cigar rolling glue, and mostly what is used for cigar rolling glue is fruit pectin, and that's what you make jello out of, or jellies. Here we got some real fruit instant pectin. This is a powder. Comes in a container. And there's another product you can use, which is liquid fruit pectin. It comes in a packet. It's already liquid. This is a little more expensive, but it works just as good. But I'm going to show you how I make it out of the powder. So you take a container that you can seal with a lid. When you're not using it, you want to put it in the refrigerator. Keep it good. Put some of the powder in there. Alright, doesn't matter how much. You'll need something to stir it with. I'm using a popsicle stick. Okay, there's some powder in there. Now you want to use distilled water. Okay, this is distilled water I put in this spray bottle. You want to add some in. Not too much, but not too little. With experience, you'll figure out how much it will be. So then we're going to mix this up. Okay, mix, mix, mix. You can see. Okay, mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. Okay, you want to get all of that powder incorporated into the water. Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that this is probably pretty good. Okay, don't want it to be too powdery, too grainy. So you want to mix it up, mix it up. I'm trying to make too much of this at one time. I made this container full the last time, and I accidentally left it out without refrigerating it, and I didn't want to use it. I left it out for like 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's why I have to make some now. I just did that. And I didn't want to use it because this is a real good medium for bacteria to grow in. So it's better just to make small amounts. Whatever you don't use, you refrigerate it. When you need some more, you make it. Okay, then you don't have to worry if you mess it up, leave it out. See, as you can see, that's sticky. It's like jelly. Okay, this is fine. It's not going to hurt you when you smoke it. You'd only need a small amount of it when you make your cigar, even someone that uses as much of it as I do. So we're all set with that. There it is. Okay. I'm going to see if I can pivot the camera. This is my cigar tobacco. Alright. What I'll do is I'll pivot this back down. And let me look to make sure I've got my scene framed. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. How's that? Looks good. Shows how heavy I am. I'm going to take these down one at a time. Okay, this here is my binder. I keep it relatively moist under a moist towel. You can see it's pliable. You buy this as binder. There's several different places you can buy from. Oteo Cigars in Miami, and Leaf Only in Connecticut or Pennsylvania, wherever it is. I think it's in Connecticut. There's a few others. If you look do a Google search for whole leaf tobacco, you'll see the places. Find the places. It runs between $20 and $25 a pound. Okay, I pull that out. Here is my Seiko filler. This is Seiko, the thin leaf, which is harvested from the very bottom of the plant. The first tobacco leaves that are harvested, they start at the bottom and they work their way up. And as they get higher and higher on the plant, the leaves are getting more nutrition because there's fewer leaves. They're getting more sun. They get stronger and thicker and more flavorful. But these are the first picking from the bottom of the plant, and it's called Seiko. Okay, this is what I use for most of my cigar. This is the leaves that are taken from the top. It's called Ligero. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it's thicker. It's thicker than the Seiko. Even the light colored leaves are thicker and stronger. You see? I don't try to keep these too pliable, too moist. Number one, I don't want mold to form on them. They're pretty much the way they came when I got them. So I just leave them like that, and I keep them in an airtight container where they won't lose any moisture. Okay. This I use at a ratio of about 5:1 to the Seiko in the cigars. I might roll 3 leaves of Seiko to 1/2 leaf of Ligero. Okay, enough talk. Let's roll the cigar. Okay, if you've seen my cigar rolling videos before, you know that the cigars that I roll for myself, I don't put a wrapper on because I'm not trying to impress anyone. And if the binder is good enough, then you don't need to put a wrapper on it. You don't need to look pretty. In a way, it's better if it's not real pretty. People can't mistake it for a store-bought cigar. I'm proud of the fact I roll my own cigars, and I tell anyone and ask. I roll them myself. They say, "Oh, really?" You know, it's impressive. I mean, how many people do you know that roll their own cigars? I don't know anyone but myself, personally. Some people think it's a daunting task, but mine was made necessary by necessity, since I wanted to smoke a lot of cigars. I used to work in 2 different cigar shops, and I was able to smoke any cigar I wanted out of them, regardless of price, while I was working, and to encourage customers to buy cigars and join me. I got really spoiled smoking $10, $15, $20 cigars, and the only way I was going to be able to afford those without being in that same situation is to roll them myself. This tobacco is 98, 99 season tobacco. It's been aged from 98, 2013, do the math, 15 years. Okay, 15 years of aging, and it tells when you smoke it. Only the highest graded cigars that you can buy are you going to use the extremely aged tobacco. I'm spoiled, and this is the way that I can feed my need. Okay. One thing you might have noticed, I've got a light at the head of my rolling table. There's a reason for that. Number one, it's the only place I can find to put it. Number two, when I'm taking the central stem out of my leaves, I look through them at the light. Look, you can see right through it. Okay, I want to take that stem out. Okay, the reason I want to take that stem out, even though it's already been what's called frog-legged, most of the big stem was taken out 15 years ago. That piece of stem that's left in there is stiff and prickly. You know, if it breaks, it's going to be sharp. I want to roll my cigar in this thin little binder. I don't want things poking through it that's going to let air in. So I don't take any chances. I pull the rest of this stem out. And that just leaves the veins in the tobacco. So when I'm looking through the leaf, I can see it. Okay? I'm not really wasting any tobacco. the stem would just be relatively bitter anyway compared to the actual leaf. There's really no reason to smoke the stem if you don't have to. Okay, there's 3 leaves of sago. Now, just put a flavorful leaf of ligero in there. Give it some flavor, give it some kick. Okay, there's all of the halves lined up on top of each other. Now, the type of rolling that I do is called bookbinding rolling. It's because I make them look like a book. See, there's pages laying down side by side. Okay, I cut this book in half. I lay it up like this. Now, the thick part of this stack is paired with the thin part of this stack, thick part of this stack with the thin part of that stack. So now the stack is pretty much even from end to end. It makes sense. Okay, now I turn it around here. Now you notice my binder is on an angle. It's already been glued. I like to glue it all the way down. I'm not ironing it. I'm not rolling it. It's just there. I didn't even pull it apart. It's just sitting there. Okay, here's my filler, my sago and ligero. Roll it over one time like that. Pick it up. Lay it on the binder. I want to have a little bit left over on this side. Now you notice I'm doing it on a slight angle. I want this to, once it's rolled, to take up most of this leaf. Get down here, pick the end of the binder up. I like to roll it over on itself one time, incorporating that binder into it. It tightens it in, it locks it in. Now I'll start rolling, paying attention to this side over here right now, which is incorporated into the binder. And as I roll forward, I start compressing this side, which isn't even on the binder yet. I'm doing it relatively tightly. Okay. See where I'm at? Okay. Picking it up, it's rolling onto it. Now I'm starting to pay attention to the very end here. Get it nice and tight. Okay. Now when you get to this point, you want to start compressing the end of it and rolling it slowly. Okay, like this till you start twisting the end. Roll it loosely in your fingers and then roll it like this so the glue gets incorporated. As you roll it and hold it here, it tightens up the wrapper. This is what I refer to as polishing the cigar. You can also do it with your civeta, which is a cigar rolling knife. I made this myself out of a piece of sheet steel. It was a file, a letter file, a steel case letter file. I cut this out with scissors with metal cutting shears. I heated up a coal fire. I heated it up red hot and then quenched it in water, and it hardened it. Then I sharpened it with a file, and there it is. So you can polish it. Careful, this is sharp. You can polish it with your cutter. Okay, here we go. This is the side that I'm going to smoke. I'm going to put in my mouth. Okay? This is the side I'm going to light. Now, if you feel this, there's a little bit of slack in the end. You want to feel it. You want to get back to the meat of the cigar, and you want to trim that off. Okay? Then I turn it around. I trim this off just above where I rolled it. This will be the part that I smoke off of. Turn it back around this way, the way it was originally. Now I got some newspaper strips that I cut about an inch and a half wide from Tampa Bay Times. It's a daily newspaper, a pulp paper that you get it free in newsstands. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. So I take this, I roll the cigar up in it, starting from the end that I'm going to light, down toward the end I'm going to put in my mouth. Roll it up, start getting down to the end. I start doing the same thing I was doing when I was binding it. I start pinching this side. This is the side I'm going to put in my mouth. Now I roll it like this. It tightens the paper up. tear that off. There it is. This is my binder. This is my press, rather, a paper press. Instead of putting in a wooden press that you press down, this paper will compress the cigar and take the moisture out of it, so it's easier and better to smoke. Okay, there's one. Now I'm going to do one more without talking so much. It's my dog coughing. I'm going to see if you can pick any hints up. You just watch me rolling. And this is about how long it takes me normally to roll a cigar. Okay, if you get a big clump of this stuff, I know I'm still talking. Get a big clump of glue, you just spread it out.
It's like, dude, I've never had a fucking issue with safety.
Okay. Hey, I'm making a video in here. Done. Okay, we're going to make one more, in case you missed something. There's always someone who looks away, talks to somebody else, and missed something. Not going to give you any excuse not to know exactly how I roll these cigars. And I want you to be able to roll them the same way, because they're very successful for me. I love them. I cut them in half when I want a short cigar. They're just the right size, just the right length, just the right everything. It tastes good, they smell good. People say, oh man, your cigar smells so good. I say, yeah, you ain't going to smell another one that smells so good either. Because these are virtually one of a kind. I'm using my own blend. You know. So there's one leaf. Two leaves. Now, if these leaves end up being really big, these are slightly larger than the last ones I was using, you may end up having to cut it 3 ways so that your cigar doesn't get too big. Now, I'll show you how to do that. What you do is you cut a small part off here, small part off here, put that one on that side, that one on that side. You got the same length cigar, you used a bigger cigar to do it. I'm not putting any Ligero in this one. It's already big enough. Sometimes I like to try something different. Not put any Ligero in one. See how it goes. See how I love it. Something different's always nice. Polish the cigar for a few seconds. Got the tip. piece. None of this is going to be wasted. I will take this and I'll roll cigars up with it later. Mostly when I run out of regular cigar tobacco. I got a big container of that stuff. Okay, here we go. Roll, 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 roll. Okay, anybody got any questions? Go ahead and post them under the video. I'll try to answer as many as possible. What I will do is I'll show you how these turn out in about half an hour, maybe an hour. We'll see what happens. The Rays game starts at 7. I'll do it before that. It's 5:15 now. And we'll go from there. And I'm not going to forget to put this in the refrigerator. Alright, we'll see you in a minute.